All right.
All right.
Not all right.
Yeah. Hold
It's
up.
definitely not okay.
The house is on fire.
All right, Thoroughbreds, how are we? We are back for another week of rugby league. Penalty Broncos coming to you from the Bandwagon Bar here in Brisbane. We've got Ringer online. We've got Langers online coming to you from across the state. We're kind of ready to rip into this week. A little bit deflated after the week that was. Looking forward to the week that will be. Ringer, how are you, mate? How's your week been?
Yeah, good, Britto. It's just been one of them, somber weeks after a terrible Saturday, eh? Like, it was pretty hard to cop, that one, to be fair. I was very excited for it. I thought for sure, well, this is going to be it, boys. This is day game at home. It's time to turn it on, and absolutely got disappointed at every turn. So, yeah, mate, it was not the biggest fan of the Legends. But anyway, we move on. But, just disappointed, mate. But, yeah, everything else is all right, mate, eh?
That's good. That's good. What about you, Langers? How you going, mate? Where are you at the moment?
Yeah, good, mate. I'm in Port Douglas. Lovely Port Douglas. It's a beautiful, beautiful town. If you haven't been, I encourage everybody to come for a visit if you've got the money. It's not a cheap little exercise coming here. That's for damn sure. But no, it's a beautiful little spot. My week's been all right. I fucked my foot up jumping a fence, so that's always good. But it's nothing like the pain I felt fucking Saturday, Arvo. So at least there's Nurofen for my foot.
That's the go. Well, she's freezing as shit down here. This jumper's doing about as much as our edge defense on the weekend. Absolutely stopping nothing. Well, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. So,
yeah, exactly right.
Exactly.
Yeah. We'll get a little bit of formalities out of the way for the start. So we'll just touch on the Selwyn Cobbo topic. We're talking in the green room, if you will, before the show, and we're having a bit of a deep dive into what we can find. And from what we can see, it's a bit up in the air as to whether or not he was initially arrested. So all that we do know is that there was an allegation of domestic violence. I believe the legal system will just take care of itself. Obviously, he hasn't been named this week. So that'll just be the club and Cobbo probably wanting to just sort it all out, get it out in the air, get it fresh, get it cleaned up, and hopefully move in the right direction. But in saying that, when it comes to the DV, everyone on the panel here for Penalty Broncos is strictly against it, and there is no shape for it in any sort of form, any area. So that's about as much as what we'll touch on that subject, and we'll move on, I reckon.
Yeah.
The game that happened on the weekend, the game that was Broncos v Bulldogs at Suncorp Stadium, 3:00 Saturday. We had Paddy Carrigan, milestone game. We had Martin Tapau, milestone game. We were playing for our 8, and we just shit the bed. It's pretty plain and simple is what it was. By now you would have heard, all the analysts and experts and whatnot talking about it. And it was pretty obvious on the day that we just didn't adapt to how the Bulldogs wanted to play. And we just let them run around us from pillar to post, basically. So I'll get a couple of quick facts out here and we'll just talk about the overall result. So at halftime, it was 10-16 to the Bulldogs. In the second half, the score was 6-25 to the Bulldogs, with the full-time score being 16-41. We scored 3 tries. 2 out of 3 conversions were done. The Bulldogs scored 7. Matt Burton was pretty solid with the boot. He missed 1 kick all game, so 6 out of 7 conversions and a 1-point field goal. Connor Tracy had an absolute blinder, scoring 3 tries. Would have been interesting to see what Bulldogs 13 plus and Connor Tracy to score 3 or more would have been paying before. That would have been a pretty nifty little Christmas bonus. But
Connor Tracy 3+ into Cole Felt 3+ would have been a lovely little play.
Yeah, that too. that too, and into Cleary 3+, just to really send it home for Chrissy. So, but yeah, boys, what are our initial thoughts on that result, Ringer?
Yeah, Britto, like I said, mate, it was just felt. I was watching it at a pub at a Bucks party, so it's hard to sort of sit down and get into the nitty gritty. But I was paying as much attention as I could because I was so anticipated. There was a couple other Broncos boys there too. Like we were dead set ready to be pumped in a pub all together, watching the boys go and rip and tear and smash the Bulldogs. And it was pretty early on when the first of someone said, Broncos are going to get beaten by 40 here. And we acknowledged it and went, well, shut up, you buffhead. But sort of deep down, we did have that feeling, eh? Like it just, I don't know, it just felt so complacent for some reason. Like it just felt like it was going to happen. They just let them march upfield. Like, you know when the Broncos are in trouble, when the opposition just seems to have their way with them off just normal one-off sets. Like, there's one stat there, like average set distances for a game. Bulldogs at 47, Broncos at 34.
Yeah.
So, 13 metres per set is a shit ton. Like, and yeah, it just seems so bloody complacent. I like they weren't, ready to start to kick the game off. They weren't jacked for it at all, which opens up so many more doors for coaching and stuff like that no one wants.
Yeah.
Like it's just like what is it, Voldemort? Don't say his name. Don't say his name. Like, we don't want to talk about it, but how do we not get up for that game on a Saturday afternoon?
Yeah,
dry track, 42,000 people playing the Bulldogs. Like, but anyway, credit to the Dogs. They march on, mate, and we languish in 13th again, having to win everything now to even be part of it. So, fun times.
This is true. What are your thoughts, Langers?
Yeah, obviously I agree with the Ringer and basically everything he fucking said. It was just hard to watch. Like I had to work on the weekend and I had a TAFE assignment due, so I only got to watch one game, which obviously I picked the Broncos to watch, and what a fucking game to watch. I hate ragging on the Broncos every fucking week. Like I fucking hate it. For all their faults that everybody saw, like the two that I do want to touch on is obviously the line breaks. Basically, every time the Bulldogs fucking spread it, just ran around them, which was just frustrating to watch as a fan, obviously. And I don't know why or what he's trying to prove, but I feel like Reynolds' short dropout shit needs to fucking go.
Yeah.
Like, it cost us the grand final last year, and he's still trying to do it, whether he's trying to make amends or, whatever his fucking demon is with it. I feel like he just needs to let it go. I feel like it's just not working for him. Like, you can see the advantages of if it comes off, if it works, but fuck me, if it doesn't, you are up against the wall for the next 5 fucking minutes. Like you've got a full set defending basically straight on your line, and if by some miracle they don't score and you get the ball back, then you're marching out of your own fucking off your own try line. So your back's against the wall for 5 fucking minutes, all because of a fucking failed dropout when you could have just launched the cunt 40 to 50 meters and it would have been done. Like you would have just been
put yourself essentially in the
sort of thing. Yeah, exactly right. So like that was. Obviously that was just a fucking annoying. Like you can
sore point, obviously.
Yeah. I'm still out from the grand final.
That flashback.
Yeah. But like I thought, Kickout's like 41st minute try, like straight off from the second half. Like I think that was just the stealer.
Yeah.
That just killed all momentum, killed the spirit of all the Broncos players, and it sort of just went downhill from there. But I don't want to focus on all the negatives. Like, there was still some good in that game, like Carrigan, awesome. Haas, once again, like I love my boy Haas, just every hit up, 3 people took to tackle him every single time. And imagine if that grubber paid off. Imagine if that fucking little grubber Eddie scored off that. Mate, building the statue. But no, like I think, those two, they obviously did really well. Stags, obviously, and Marty getting a try on his 250th right onto the black dot. Like obviously it was in like the last 5 minutes of the game, but hey, still got a fucking meat pie. So like, yeah, fuck yeah, there was still some positives to take out of it for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like, it was good back in the days when the Broncos never missed a finals, season sort of thing, and you could walk around with your chest out and fucking be cocky as you want and be an absolute pain in the ass to the rest of the competition. But boy, oh boy, are they fucking loving it when they're kicking us when they're down now, aren't they? Like, I was at the stadium for the game, and 42,000, and I would have to say close to 10,000 of them were Doggies fans, and they were just letting us know. Like they were. The Bulldogs chant went up at probably about 10 minutes to go, and it was pretty loud. And thankfully, the stadium rallied and drowned them out with a bit of Broncos sort of back at them, but they were loud in that one corner. And they were definitely proud. Yeah. So, and I mean, they played really well, so they had every right to stand up in the crowd and shout out. But yeah, no, it was definitely painful to watch. It does beg the question. What is going on off the field? I feel like if you're not going to get up for that game, then what game are you going to get up for? And we're essentially, if we do make it into the 8, I am worried that we'll be cannon fodder when we get there. So just bounce straight out. So just making up the numbers. So, but anyway, we'll dissect the game a little further now with a couple of general stats. I've got like some attacking, defensive, and some negative play stuff here. And both of you have already touched on the average set difference, what was going on there, and the line breaks there, Langers. And you're right too with the short dropouts. Like, you're going to go a short dropout when we clearly do not have the defense to stop them from rolling down the field. So what's the point of trying to stop them from 10 out?
Yeah,
it's just right. It's not going to work. So, and then that short kickoff as well, that Reece sent one over out on the full, and then the other one didn't go the distance. Just, I understand that we're trying to ignite something, but it's not the time that we weren't even playing basic footy. No. So just kick it long and play basic footy. Then we'll start doing some fancy shit.
The ones that are very good at that short dropout, like your Mitchell Moses, Cleary, Pappenhausen's pretty good too. They're never aiming for 2 meters from the sideline.
Yeah.
It's usually 18, 20 meters deep, and it's about 10 meters in at least.
Yeah.
And they're trying to just get height so that they can get a contest, because that way, you're taking the sideline out of contention, and you're still getting them in a corner if they get it, and you still got a hope of having it. Like, it's a Hail Mary to get it back anyway. So you're going to, I just hate when they try and put it on the sideline. So even if they do get it, I think Oatsy was pretty close to one there at one stage. And not Oatsy, who was on that, Jesse Arthur's maybe. And like, even if he did get it, he had no hope of staying in the field of play, so it was pointless anyway. So I just think surely these fellas are watching what everyone else is doing, and obviously it's something we're not bitter about at all.
And I mean, it's not like we haven't got fast wingers. Like, throw it 15 meters deep, we can get there.
Yeah, we can
all you got to do is get up, get a hand back, and tap it back. The guy coming up behind you, it doesn't have to be as fast as you. So, anyway, we'll have a look at a few. So, lo and behold, possession 55% towards the Bulldogs. Completion rate, we actually get above 80%, and we get our asses kicked.
I know. Go me, right?
Yeah, that's it. So
you got what you wanted, Jack.
Got what I wanted. Got pumped by
40. Post-contact meters absolutely chewed us there by about 100 meters. Bulldogs 469 to our 354. Kick return, they also beat us there 125 to 101. Offloads, we sort of got one up there. We had 13 offloads to their 10. Tackle breaks, that's definitely a bit of an interesting stack. We had 45 tackle breaks and they only had 32. So it was a bit of an interesting one there.
They just ran around us. That's why they didn't need a break. Tackle. Didn't have to break. Run around us.
That's it's not a tackle if they don't get touched.
Yeah.
Again, effective tackles. We got that 87% over there, 80, and we made 11 sets more tackles, and so that to go with basically what is 10 meters over 10 meters per set that they were running at us, and we sort of we had our backs against the wall the whole time. So what was the other one that I seen that was a bit interesting? The errors were actually pretty similar. That was the other one. 11 errors to the Bulldogs to our 10.
Yeah. Other than like 2 or 3 key stats, if you look down the rest of them, you think, oh, this game was relatively close. Just looking at, especially the completions and like the tackle breaks, like you said, like it's not. None of it's that bad. It was just attitude, I think, and defense, or just the structure of what we were. I just don't really know what we were really planning to do, and they, like you said, they just kept running around us like it was under sevens. And
watching from the grounds, I was on the western sort of Caxton end, and mate, they just literally spread it from inside the 15 out to the wing and just took off, on 5 occasions. And thankfully, Katoni was kind of on one on his side, and he chopped Cherry, and then who else did he chop out on that side? But it could have been a lot worse if Katoni hadn't been on one. So we'll dive into having a look. We'll do a bit of player comparison here. So the top performing players of the match for each team: Toby Sexton, who I said last week I liked him. He topped the tackle count with 35 for the Bulldogs. Corey Jensen, the workhorse, did 38 for us. That Skelton, which was the one that just continued to run around us like it was park footy, he ran for 304 metres. And I can guarantee you that majority of them was just clear air. It wasn't like he was breaking tackles. So I actually don't have that stat. I should probably look it up while one of you is talking how many tackle breaks he had.
That young Skelton kid.
Yeah. And then Paddy Carrigan, like Tim mentioned, absolute Trojan, 175 metres. Jacob Carraz had 2 line breaks. Reece Walsh had 1. And if we move on to into our back line, the Bulldogs essentially dominated every stat possible there, including the errors. So they made about 14 errors just in the back line. And normally, a team like the Panthers, who, let's not forget we took it to them in the grand final last year, would have pulled them to pieces with those kind of errors in the back line. And we just never really fired a shot. So
a lot of that came, though, when they had it sealed. They were just chucking it. So Jarrell Skelton, he only had 2 tackle breaks.
There you go.
So like you said, you just buy, no one's there, so you don't make tackle breaks for no one. That's 304 metres. 73 post contact. So
so well, there you go. 304 metres is only 73 post contact. So so the back line for them, they scored 24 of their points through their back line, 6 tries, line breaks 8, line break assists 8, try assists 5 against our 1, 0 and 0. We had 21 tackle breaks over their 17. So make it that of what you will. We made 44 tackles to their 29, and we missed 13 tackles to their 10. So fairly even at the back end of that. But anyway, they had us on all sorts. In our halves, it really was pretty one-sided there. Matty Burton and Sexton up against Mam and Reynolds. They themselves scored 13 points. None of them came from tries. They made 28 runs compared to 9 for our halves. And their run meters were 108 compared to 50. 2 line break assists for the Bulldogs against our 1. A try assist each. Tackle breaks, 1, still pretty low. They made more tackles, so 48. So you could tell that Paddy Carrigan and Payne Haas and that were going to work on them, but just no avail, really. Tackles missed. Mam and Reynolds missed 10 to the Bulldogs, 6 there. And total errors was 5-4, so pretty even there as well. In the forwards, what have we got? Interesting stats here. Run meters for the forwards for the Bulldogs, 521 compared to our 489. again, they scored points with their forwards. So basically, they hit us in every single direction. And we'll get to the interchange in a little bit here, but even in the fours, the line breaks, the Bulldogs had 3 line breaks to our 0. Even with Payne Haas's little kick grubber there. It was good to see the big fella try that.
Yeah, good on him.
It wasn't good.
Might as well. He's like, I'm going to have to support the points.
What's got to lose?
Yeah, I was waiting for a big 30-metre spiral cutout, hit Arthur's on the chest for a runaway. I guess that's also one thing, and we'll touch on it in the girls because they had a moment as well. But that try that Katoni scored off the Ezra Mam grubber through, that should have been, in the old days, the catalyst for the Broncos to absolutely rip in and tear it up.
Yeah.
Like, that was an absolutely brilliant individual effort from Katoni. And I thought at the grounds, I'm like, there it is, sweet. We're in here, we're all good. And just nothing. Turned the pass almost immediately. So, but anyway, we carry on. So, we will get to the bench stats. This is where we did score some of our points. So that would have been Marty coming off the bench to score his 1 try. Run meters was 198 to 188, so pretty standard there. But the post-contact meters, so their bench came on and made 77 post-contact meters, where ours made 50. So they really did have an impact coming off the bench there. And our errors, again, was more than the Bulldogs, but still fairly even. So that'll lead us to our man of the matches. I'll go first there, and I elect Paddy Carrigan, mainly with the 62 minutes that he played. He did 8 runs for 175 metres, which works out to be about 22 metres per run, which is pretty outstanding, with 65 post-contact metres, 0 errors too. So I thought that was a big lift for Paddy in a losing side. What about you, Ringer?
Yeah, Britto. Paddy, once again, it's just hard to comprehend why no one goes with that kid. Like, in a team, like just that day when everyone, it was like only Paddy and Katoni that sort of made you feel like someone was ripping in for the jersey. Like, obviously they all are having a crack, but you just don't get that physical, eye test of them. Like, hey, these boys are having a crack here. Like, Paddy could win that man of the match every week the way he's going. Like, he just rips in, gets into the middle. He doesn't miss a tackle. He doesn't make an error. He's always having a real hard crow. And, thank God Katoni's having a crack too, because if he was on having one of his terrible days, we would have beaten by 80 there. So no, but he's been really good over the last couple of weeks. You could nearly give it to him too, just from that individual effort for one, but just the fact that he was, he was on one. Like, he was trying his guts out. So, that effort means a lot in those sort of games.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely Paddy Carrigan, mate.
What about you, Langers? What are your thoughts, mate?
I agree with both of you. Obviously, like, Paddy, he's a fucking just brings his A game every game, regardless of who's around him and how they're playing, for sure. I nominated my boy Payne Haas just because, like I've mentioned it a few times, but just watching him play, like, every hit up he does takes at least 3 of them to bring him down, and like, he ties the defense just by doing that. You think Broncos without a bloke like Haas to tie the defense and tackling a big boy like that, like what does that leave the Broncos with?
Exactly.
What I mean? But you do the same with Carrigan as well. You take Paddy out of the equation, and fucking you nearly on got the same sort of situation. So no, it's definitely a plus having those 2 lads in the team. Stags, obviously, like, when he did that little individual try, scared the shit out of my daughter. She was busy playing with her little fucking kitchenette over to the side, and then I've just erupted.
That's the suit.
Fuck, it was funny, but it was like, that was an awesome try. Like, and like you said, Britto, that should have been the fucking Broncos. Like, that's supposed to sort of poster boy, poster child fucking moment sort of thing. Like, but no, like I think between those three, like each one had their own individual merits, and yeah, I think obviously Paddy probably deserves it probably most out of those three, but yeah, I just went Hash just to be fucking different.
Yeah, no, that's fair. He made 0 errors as well, so
Yeah.
you know it's
Yeah.
solid as well. And I did hear during the week about what you just mentioned there with individual stuff. There was a lot of individual stuff going on and 0 team stuff going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's
Well,
what we're seeing.
that's what the stats say, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
there's no real lagging bad stats except for all those defensive efforts where, you know, they're letting them march upfield. They're not missing the tackles. They're just not driving them into the dirt. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, it's just, yeah, it seems like an attitude thing because it's not far off the same team. You know, Herbie's an absolute gun, but, you know, Flegler, obviously, but I mean, it's not far off the same team, and we're a couple of games away from the bloody spoon again. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
I'd like to get Flegler's stats from last year, and maybe I'll do that this week and put them up against Jensen and just see are we really missing Flegler?
Yeah. Willison even too. Yeah, well, and too, that's right. But yeah, we probably are. And you wonder whether that, like, because Paddy's a calm, cool, collected, like he's a ripper, he'll rip in, but he's pretty calm because so is Payne. They're not overly aggressive until they're like.
Yeah,
I'm sure the people that have to tackle them tell you that they're pretty darn aggressive. But, you know, they're not intimidatingly so aggressive. Like they're not a JWH or a Flegler. And you wonder whether someone in that pack, like we need someone in that just to fire the boys up, like to actually get them up. So because there's not a firebrand really in our whole forward pack when you think about it. Like there's no one that you'd go, oh, he's a bit of a mad dog. So
there's no like we're a Hargraves or Victor Radley sort of style player.
Yeah,
no, but we do have.
I thought Kobe was coming to that. I thought Ricky was going to be that too, but he's sort of still too much of a nice guy. Like he ironed out poor old Cam Murray and he didn't even get the ball.
And you know, Kobe's kind of nearly killed a few people this year, but
they don't have that. They're not just aggressive. You know what I mean? Like Kobe will kill you. He will kill you if you come too close to him and run at him. But you know, people aren't talking about him like bloody Victor Radley or someone like that. So if one of them boys step up, that might be what I don't know. It just seems like when you look at that team and you're like, why are we missing out on these games? Yeah, you got to clutch at all straws because there's not much that you're bloody missing, is there?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we don't have a Spencer Lindu, but I really do think Ricky can be that sort of course guy he can. For us. So, the Gronk, he put in an honourable mention for Katoni as well. It was funny when I was putting the stats together for all this. I wrote it down just for shits and giggles. Payne Haas, 8 kicking meters. We'll go back through the history books and see if that's the most he's done in a season.
Yeah.
And an honourable mention to Marty Tapau again as well. I was telling Ringer before, I think it was probably the last try or second last try that the Bulldogs scored. And he sort of, I think it was Dean Mariner was off to the side away from the huddle behind the post, and he physically grabbed him and pulled him, like, get up, get into the huddle, get into the team. So obviously, I think Dean went off with an injury after that. He got subbed out or whatever, so he was definitely hurt. But, yeah, Marty was like, nah, not on my watch, let's go, like, we're in here sort of thing. So he was still trying to buoy the boys and whatnot to the very death. So I guess that's what you get when you got a 250 gamer in your ranks. So,
and a lot of them have been for the Sea Eagles. Been in that position a fair bit over the years.
Exactly.
Yep.
Gonna pick ourselves up here, boys.
All right. Well, we'll move on to the next game against the Titans, and we'll try and forget about that one. I'll quickly run through the team list here that we've got coming out for the Broncos, and we'll run through a couple of ins and outs and what's not. So we line up Reece Walsh, Corey Oates comes in on the wing, Katoni in the centres with Dean Mariner, Jesse on the other wing. In the halves, we've got Mam and Reynolds. Forwards, we've got Jensen, Walters, Haas, Piakura, Ricky, and Carrigan. And the bench is pretty similar to last week with Blake Moser, Kobe Hetherington, Xavier Willison, and Martin Tapau, with Josiah coming in at 18th man to replace Corey going onto the wing there. Hopefully Brendan's ankle, I think it was, hopefully that's all sorted now. Should be all right. Outs are the obvious one with Selwyn there. Judiciary, we had Kobe Hetherington on a grade 1 dangerous contact, but it was $1,000 fine with an early guilty plea. And Blake Moses, similar grade 1 dangerous contact, $1,000 fine with an early guilty plea. So that's how the team lines up for us with the Bulldogs. We've got Kinney at fullback, Khan Piera, Brian Kelly, Philip Sammy, Jojo Fafita with the backs, and then Jaden Campbell and Kieran Foran in the halves. Mo Fodawaka, Sam Verrills, Aaron Clark, David Fafita, Bo Fermor, and Chris Randall are their forward pack. We've got Isaac Liu, Cleese Haas, Keenan Palacia, Josiah Pahulu, I think it is, and then Jamin Jolloff is their 18th man. So they're coming off a win to the Dolphins, and they're currently sitting in 14th spot. And we've obviously had that loss to the Bulldogs. We still have a bye in hand, and we're currently sitting 13th. If you have a look at the ladder, we're tied with the Titans and the Rabbitohs. All of us are on 20 points. I do believe that the Titans don't have another bye, and I don't think the Rabbits do either. Tail of the tape, as I said before, Titans 14th, Broncos 11th. Win percentage for this year is we're at 44.4%. They're at 38.9%. This is where it does get a bit concerning. The completion rate, we are 75% completion rate, still sitting last place. We're coming up against the Titans that are at 82% and sitting in first place when it comes to completion. So
that's pretty incredible, isn't it?
It is. Tackle efficiency, there's not really much in it. 89.6% for the Titans up against our 87. Average points scored, 22 to us, 21 to Titans. Average points conceded, 22 to us, 25 to the Titans. But they have obviously played a couple of good games coming into this, where they had the win over the Dolphins, lost against the Seagulls, but then it's been win-win against the Eels and the Sharks. The last time we played them, it was a nasty little day game where they got the W, 36 to 34.
Terrible.
And we were at another day game.
The same place,
Saturday, same time down at Seabus. So not looking forward to doing the whole vampire thing again. But what are our thoughts, Langers, on the game, mate?
I don't see why the Broncos are such heavy favourites in the betting. To be honest, like I feel like every time they play the Titans, they're heavy favourites, and fucking every time they get beaten, or it's a ridiculously like a closer game than it should be. Like obviously you want the Broncos to win. I think everybody that listens probably wants the Broncos to win. I think that's probably why they're listening. But it's just it's like what Ringer said at the start. She's fucking do or die now. Like we need to win. Like there's no other if buts or maybes about it. Like we need to fucking win. And the Titans always seem to start pretty fast and strong as well. And the Broncos just haven't been able to do that. And against a team that has done that against the Broncos, like they just haven't been able to reel it back in, sort of thing. So it's pretty worrying, to be honest. And but I think the frustrating part about it is you look at the team list, and like for the Broncos, and like that's a grand final team. When they put it together, it's fucking magic, and it's magical to watch it. And I think that's what's so frustrating for me, anyway. Watching this, grand final team just going to shit. So look, hopefully they can put it together. They fucking need to. I think the Broncos, I think they're paying like $1 fucking fuck all. And I think that's ridiculous, to be honest. I think it should be much, much closer than that. But in saying that, Broncos 13 plus.
Yeah, I think the Titans are out to $3 plus, aren't they?
$2.54 I've seen before.
Oh, they come back in, have they? Yeah, that makes a bit more sense. When I seen them at $3, I was like, that's not right. Like,
if I would have seen them at $3, bro.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I refrained.
Yeah.
What about you, Ringer? What are your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, Britto, same with Langers. That is the most frustrating part about this whole season so far, is that you know for a fact that if all these boys stand up and play their absolute best at the same time, no one can go with them. Literally not a team in the comp can go with them. Like, they beat everyone. And they can beat everyone convincingly.
Yeah.
But we just all decide to have a shit game altogether all at once. You know what I mean? And that's what makes it so... Yeah, it's so frustrating to watch, and that's what's starting to make it feel like it's not so much. It's a behind the scenes something, whether that is. But yes, the Titans terrify me. They've beaten us the last 2 times we've played them. Granted, They only beat us by 2 last time, and we did make that bit of a comeback, if you remember that game. Reece
I was at
had
that
a bit
one
of a
as
bloody
well.
rip and a tear.
Stop going to games.
Yeah. And then they beat us round 17 last year, 18-12. And we've actually got the direct opposite lead-ins for the last 5 games. So Titans have gone 3 wins, a loss, and a win. We've gone 3 losses, a win, and a loss. So another day game terrifies me. Like Manger said, they start fast. And if we decide to defend like we did against the Bulldogs, against the Titans, with players like Brian Kelly, Campera, Philip Sammy, like all ready to like rip in.
Yep.
We're going to wear it hard. So,
Yeah, this could very well be the nail in the coffin this weekend if we don't turn up, and hopefully they've relayed that at Red Hill during the week. I do wonder how much this whole assistant coach drama, I don't even know if it is drama, but obviously we're getting rid of a couple of assistant coaches, or they're leaving and whatnot. I do wonder if that's sort of at the root of all what's going on, but
it's never a good sign of a club going well, is it, when the assistant coaches are going in and out? So there's obviously things happening there. Like, it never happens at the Roosters of the Storm. Like, you got to pry them fellas out of there with a bloody crowbar to get them to move. So it'll be interesting to see what actually comes out of that. And we lost Ben Eichen too. Like, when we were going the best, when he was coming in as a football manager, like.
Yeah.
Someone had to give him a bloody promotion and take him to the Queensland Rugby League. But I mean, you wonder what that sort of calm head has done that we lost. Yeah, it's just interesting how that's when you look at what has changed. There's only Herbie, Flagler, Keenan, and Ben Eichen pretty much that have left, and one of them's made a hell of a difference. So
yeah, that's it. Was there a clash with Walters and Eichen?
No, he got promoted. He got promoted to Queensland Rugby League. Yeah,
there was that media storm about how they weren't apparently getting on, though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
probably storming.
And the next thing he's up in the big house.
Yeah, right. No, well, like you said, Langers before, if you compare, the back line, Jesse Arthur's, Katoni Staggs, Reece Walsh up against, a debutant in Keeney. You got Cam Piero, who's a really good finisher, but then you've got Kelly, Sammy, and Jojo. They're all sort of starting to bang. So, you'd almost have to give the Titans. Not really, eh? Like, it's difficult because on the Broncos' day, they should storm around those boys. On the day, you'd probably give the Broncos the tick, but with the consistency that the Titans have been doing and the Des Hasler thing, did you guys see the spray that Des Hasler gave them at halftime?
I watched it in the highlights. He was absolutely terrible. There was paint peeling off the walls in that joint. He was giving them that big of a bake.
Mate, that has to be a classic Desi fucking spray. I reckon anyone at Manly that watched that game and seen that, they really have PTSD going back to flashbacks.
It's still like, whoa.
They went out.
They just start running. Go out the back and do some push-ups. Just in case.
Running laps. In the backyard.
Well, comparison of our halves. So Ezra Mann, Adam Reynolds up against Campbell and Foran. So I would put that like for like. You've got the old head there, and then you've got the young buck Ezra Mann up against Campbell. bit of an excitement factory, both of them, when they're on. So yeah, hopefully we can do something in there. Ezra needs to kind of move up and come out of his shell a bit. What are your thoughts in the forwards? I'll throw to you, Ringer, after this. But like Jensen against Fonawaka, you got Walters up against Verrills, Haas and Clark, Piakora and Fafita, Ricky up against Firma, and Carrigan on Randall. Like, I feel like that's where we have an edge, yeah?
Mate, in a perfect world, we should dominate that, right? But it comes down to consistency over the last 4 weeks, what we've been seeing. Sammy Verrills gets up, does his job, he hits hard. Aaron Clark has been the one that's been changing games for the Titans. I think they always name him prop. In the last couple of weeks, they've been actually bringing him off the bench. But he's just a ball of absolute energy. And, hard to put on the ground, always got an offload in him. We know Dave Fafita decides to turn up and play his best football against the bloody Broncos too, and he's just dangerous. And he's going to be on Jordan. He's going to be running at Jordan and Renault all night. So, but then on the other, in saying that, on the other edge, you got Bo Firma. Like, he was pretty close to him. I wouldn't have had him far off the back in Origin this year too.
Yeah,
the way he's been. So, like you said, mate. You read it off the list, and especially Paddy and Payne, but they're beating every other forward pack. It's just whether we can all get together and do it as a team. But yeah, like you said, we should walk up there and we should walk through them. But we haven't been to lesser forward packs than that. So that's what it just makes you very nervous once again, especially when they make them the underdogs. I hate that because that's all. You reckon that half-time break's going to be bad? Imagine Desi pumping the boys up, running out bloody 3 o'clock on Saturday saying, "Oh, little brother, big brother, blah, blah, blah." Like, get on my head, boys, let's go.
Yeah, that's it. And that whole spray and the fact that they then came out and turned it on.
Exactly.
This whole week they're going to be like, righto, Desi, get on your hair, son, let's go, sort of thing. So,
but it tells you that whole spray, that they're invested in it.
Yeah.
Like, the spray in response means that it wasn't a spray where they all like, oh, bugger this old prick. Like, they really give a shit about what he reckons. So, because they did respond, they look great. So
he would have hit the nail on the head too, no doubt. He would have pointed out a couple of things, pointed out a couple of people, and went, you need to do far better than this shit.
Yeah. So no, it's going to be, but like you said, on paper, if you took their career into the account, we should roll over top of them, but we won't. Unless we change our attitude.
Yeah, that's it. Well, all that. Broncos 13 plus, so.
Exactly.
Yeah,
might be 25 plus.
Cheeky.
Got to turn it on sometime.
All right, well, unfortunately, it's a bit of a similar story with the women's game. I was racing traffic in for about half of the first half, so I think we walked into the stadium not long after Julia Robinson did a runaway try. And like I said with the Katoni try, that effort there should have been the catalyst for the girls to go on and win it.
Yep.
That was absolute brilliant bit of individual play. Again, she took it clean, just burnt everybody that came after her, and off she went. So, that was a bit painful to see. So, I'll go through the same with the men. Pardon me. Broncos v Eels at Suncorp on Saturday. 12:45 game. Halftime score was 4-10 to the Eels. Second half score was 6-12 to the Eels, with the full-time score being 10 to 22. Broncos lose. We only scored the 2 tries. Julia Robinson in the 4-minute mark, and then Chelsea Lenarduzzi in the 43rd minute. I thought that maybe when we did come out and Chelsea did cross, that was going to be a pretty good, we were going to get back into it, but then the Eels kind of grounded away, and we didn't come out. So we had one sin bin. I will enjoy talking about this. I seen it at the game, and obviously I seen a heap of replays, and then there was an interview and whatnot. So for those who didn't see it, Annette Claudia went into a tackle. I think it was on one of the Cherrington girls. something happened in the tackle. Charrington girl got hurt, whatever, coming out slow of the tackle. The other Charrington sister has come over and just pushed Annetta out of the way, whatever, and sort of, sure, okay, cool. Annetta didn't really take kindly to that, so she stood up to defend herself. Kennedy decided to shape up and whatever, and Annetta let her have it, basically. And then in an interview afterwards, she said that the reason she ran over and pushed her is because, that's my baby sister. I came in to defend her. I was like, mate, it's a contact sport, and you just found that out in two different fucking scenarios. Like, seriously, how are you at this level to do that sort of shit with your baby sister? She's in the front row. She's up in the middle getting tackled. She's going to get hurt potentially. Don't go in and push somebody else and then wonder why you just got punched. So, I mean...
I don't know. Have we heard how long Annetta's sitting on the sidelines? Because I hope it's never.
It is. I thought I had it here. She got a grade 2 dangerous contact, but it was her second and subsequent. So she got 2 matches. And in a 9-match season, that's a fair bit, really.
Yeah, that's like giving one of the boys about 6. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so, but I was all for it. I loved it. I love seeing the girls getting a bit feisty and defending and standing up for it.
Mate, bloody oath. It makes you realise that they're not out there to fuck spiders, eh? They're out there to win comps. Like, they're passionate. Let's go. Like, I was all for it.
Go, that's good. You didn't get to see it, did you, though, Langas? You just enjoyed the aftermath.
Yeah, no, I just saw the Facebook flooding with right cross, eh? Boom. Yeah, fucking love it. No, it's good to see. Good to see the passion. It's always good to see 2 women fucking biffing on too. But yeah, no, it's and obviously it's going to be different with a 9-game sort of season. But if you want to grow the game, you want equality and all that sort of shit, then you're going to throw a punch, then that punishment needs to equal what the men get when they fucking throw a punch as well. So. But like the ringer said, a 2-game suspension is probably the equivalent to a 6 for the men sort of thing. So, it might work out. But I think if a man threw a punch, he'd be looking at more than 2 weeks. Personally, but we've also got 27 rounds to fucking come back as well. So it's a bit of a different story. I understand that, but fucking hope it's every game. Fucking just bucket.
Definitely got eyes on the sport anyway.
Yeah, well, fuck yeah, that would have, they probably did the sport, the females fucking league a heap of fucking good.
Reagan will start turning up to every game.
Yeah, but I was just about to say that on Reg and be fucking happy.
I tell you what, Jack, your math isn't too far off, mate. In fact, it's actually spot on. So if you go 2 divided by the 9, you get 22%, and if you times 27 by 22%, you get 6 games. So
that's what I'm here for, mate.
Quick
mathematic genius.
Quick maths. All right.
For the technical stuff, mate.
So Rachel Pearson had a really good game, especially with the boot. She got 5 out of 5 conversions. I think it was that included the penalty goals. And then if we move on to a couple of the stats there, and we'll just brief through these real quick. I was disappointed that all through the week in the media, the girls were saying how Scotty Prince has got them stronger, fitter, faster. We're out here to win comps, blah, blah, blah. Well, you shit the bed when it came to that, because that was pretty bad. It was on par with the boys, I thought. There was some individual brilliance again in the team. That when I was watching the game, but it certainly wasn't living up to the hype that they'd put in through the week. So it will be interesting to see how they go and turn it around this week, because they are coming up against a bit of a formidable foe in the Roosters, who went toe-to-toe with the back-to-back premiers last week. So we will have to get in there and straighten a few things out. Hopefully we're going good. But the standout stats for me was the possession. So the Eels had 62%. Essentially, the girls basically threw the ball away from what I can see, and that's sort of backed up by the stats. So 62% to the Eels. Completion rate, they completed at 89%. We only completed at 70%. So that's something that both the men and the women need to sort of look at. There was another big set here. So tackles made, we did 19 sets worth of tackles extra. So no ball at all. And then we had also missed tackles. So we missed 16 more tackles. And that to me isn't faster, fitter, stronger.
It's just dominated, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. What else is there? I think the errors. So our girls did 10 errors, the Eels 7. But the big one was penalties conceded. 12 penalties that we conceded to the Eels 3.
Yeah.
So not only did we not have the ball, but either in defence or in attack, we just gave ourselves no hope.
And that's where that 19 sets comes in. Like it's the repeat sets, repeat efforts. Like, and you go through our player stats. It's no wonder none of our forwards made any meters, is because they were too busy tackling every poor bastard. And and that, like you said, Tom, some of those penalties, whatever. But 12-3 is you're not doing the right thing enough. Obviously, the penalty counts out that big because you're obviously doing something wrong. And I think it was just like we couldn't keep up with the repeat efforts. Like, we looked a bit slower in the middle. But yeah, it's interesting how that sort of, these days, that 6 again game, if you don't get on top of that shit quick, I almost think you're better off letting them score a try.
Yeah.
And so you only got to defend for 10 tackles and say, boys, if we're starting to get buggered, let them in, or girls, ladies, women. Because, fair enough, you defend your line for 3 sets, yep. And then they go in and they score on the 4th set after you drop out. You've made 40 tackles for no reason. So anyway, it's just an interesting thing this day and age. It's in the men's game too. If you get a roll of possession, I don't care what team you are and what team you're playing, you will win.
Yeah.
Because you ruin your middle defense, and that happened to the girls, women.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, that's it. And you're 100% right. Like you can just strangle the other team. If you've got the ball, you've got the game essentially.
Yep.
So that's the whole goal of it. I'll brief through some standout stats for player matchup. So the top performing players for each team: Kennedy Charrington for the Eels on 25 tackles. Maria Denman did 33 for our women. Most run meters was Julia Robinson for us at 222. A lot of that one breakaway try would have contributed a lot to that. And then Hayley Maddock, she made 3 line breaks and top the charts out there, beating out the Eels with, I think they didn't get over one for an individual. So, but the big difference and where you could definitely tell that we lost was the forwards where they stacked up. So obviously this comes with possession. So, this is going to be why they're so lopsided, but their forwards had 67 runs combined compared to our 38. The run meters was 562 compared to our 296. And the post-contact meters was 165 compared to our 87. So their forwards did, exactly what they were supposed to do and just laid a platform. And then the rest just sort of came with that. So defense and limiting errors, I would say, would be the keys to the matchup in the game going forward. And we all agreed that Keely Joseph was our woman of the match. 44 minutes she did, 9 runs, 63 metres, 7 metres per run with 14 post-contact. She had 1 offload, 29 tackles, 2 missed, 0 errors, which is what we want to see.
0 errors. I thought just honourable mention while we're talking about it, Britto, about the domination they had over us in the middle and just the repeat efforts. Like Malay Hafanga only got 10 runs for 108 metres.
Yeah.
Like, so she's making 10 meters a run, like
Every run,
just
yeah.
busting it up. Even Bree spread, bro. 12 for 97.
Yep.
So when we had the ball, we could get the meters in on the edges. We just didn't have the ball. So
Yep.
it just shows, like, it should show the women anyway what we need to clean up that discipline for a start and stop those repeat efforts, because we obviously have the strike on the edges to do the damage. It's just we got to get them the ball, and we can't get them the ball if all we're doing is tackling. So I just thought that was an interesting stat that Melly only had 10 runs for 108, so she was still just bussing people out the edge there, and we just couldn't get her the ball.
I will say one thing: if anyone does look stronger, faster, fitter, it is Melee. She does.
She does. She looks toned.
Yeah, she looked really good. Julia obviously looks solid, solid as a rock out there. Bree did really well from what I could see with the limited involvement that she had, limited ball. And then interesting that you said that. So we know that our forwards were trying to defend, and we had no ball. And when we did have it, we made errors. Our halves made 11 errors in total compared to the Eels halves of 1.
Yeah.
So the people controlling the ball weren't controlling the ball.
No, exactly.
So
11 errors is killer.
Yeah. So
and Ali's part of that. So you'd hope that maybe that was just one of them days sort of situations where she's probably lucky to have made 11 errors in her career, let alone to combine with a partner for 11 in a day. So it might be one of the days.
Yeah, 100%. I think she was definitely frustrated. You could see it on her face. So, and if she is, the professional athlete that we know her to be, she would have been absolutely filthy on herself this week. So,
yeah, exactly.
2+ tries for her coming up.
Yeah.
And that's a good segue into what is coming up. So, the team list came out today. We've got a couple of ins. Bridget Hoy, Destiny Brill, Hannah Larson, and Shaylee Joseph have come in. Outs are Annetta Claudia. She's obviously out suspended. Lavina Gould as well. She got one match for a dangerous contact. I must have completely missed that one. I'll have to go back and have a look. And then Tafido Lafeli, she's out, but I think it's an injury because she was in the judiciary, but she just got a warning with an early plea for a dangerous contact. So, but we line up against the Roosters this weekend at Allianz Stadium, 1:45 p.m. on Saturday. They had a chance. The Roosters had a chance to take their first game to Golden Point against the Knights, but missed with the final conversion, just on the siren there. We're coming off that loss to the Eels. We should be probably stinging a lot more than the Roosters. The Roosters are probably quite happy with that start, going up against the Premiers at home. They'll obviously just be stinging for a win, which, in the short 9 rounds, points will be at a premium. So head-to-head, we've got the Roosters sitting on 6th. We're sitting on 8th position. Completion rate, we completed at 75%. They completed at 73%. Tackle efficiency is about similar on 87%. So we line up a couple of little changes. Hayley Maddock at the back, Julia Robinson in the wing, Melee and Lauren Dam in the centres, Bree Spreadborough on the opposite wing in 5. In the halves, we've got Skylar Adams and Ali Brigdenshaw. Keely Joseph, she's moved into the prop number 8 to take Annette's position. Jada Ferguson, Brianna Clark, Tasman Rapana also goes onto the run-on, coming off the bench from last week. Romy Titzel, Maria Denman goes back to lock. And then Destiny Brill comes into the squad. She's actually going to be really interesting to watch. I hope that she does have a good game. From what I can read and see, they've got big raps on her. So Chelsea Lenarduzzi, Jasmine Fogavini, and Bridget Hoy come in. I believe Bridget is making her NRLW debut off the bench there this weekend, and Hannah Larson comes into 18th.
Do we think Hannah Larson is Gary Larson's relation? Do we just have to believe that?
Yeah,
as
we'll just
Broncos?
believe in that. Why not?
Yeah.
Do a bit of
Oh my
research.
God, son.
The Roosters line up: Samantha Bremner, Jamie Frezard, Jessica Surges, Jasmine Strange, Mia Wood in the backs, Isabella Kelly and Taryn Aiken are in the halves. So I think the change there is Samantha Bremner has gone to fullback, and then Isabella has come from fullback into the halves. Millie Elliott, Keely Davis, Pani Hopewadi, Otessa Pooley, Olivia Kernick, Alaya Nasiu at lock. And then on the interchange, we've got Jocelyn Kelleher, Eliza Lopamau, Samantha Ikamos, and Maya Hill Moana round out their interchange with Tiana Davison, 18th woman, sitting on the bench there. So I haven't seen the odds for this, but it will be a good matchup. I'll be watching it quite intently, and hopefully the girls get up.
They've got the Roosters at $1.50 and the Phillies, which they should be called from now on. Come on, NRL. Anyway, they're $2.60.
$2.60.
So that's. But mind you, I watched the Roosters Knights game on the Thursday night.
Yep.
Broncos would want to change their attitude a lot, or they're going to get, especially Millie Elliott Knee Boyle is still probably the best. She's best forward in the game by a long way. She's just aggressive. She gets to a front. She knows when to get involved. She can get an offload away. So, yeah. Well, hopefully that, I dare say that might be the reason why Princey's moved Keely Joseph into the front row to just shadow Millie.
Yep.
Because she doesn't miss tackles. She's a bit of a goer, Keely. So maybe that might be why she's pushed her in there. So,
yep.
It'll be interesting, but I just hope the girls realise that they need to. We might have them for speed, maybe, which, if we can get them to the edges, we might be all right. But, yeah, we need to really clean up our act because we do not want to be giving the Roosters repeat sets down in Roosters' enemy territory too. So,
yeah that's it.
But it'll be a good game.
I watched that game as well, and there was a moment there where the Knights were taking it to Millie, and you could tell that she was like, righto, we'll flick a switch here and we'll see if he can sort of hang with me. So that was a real physical, intense game, and some of the plays that they were doing was top notch.
I was so impressed with that as a season opener from NRLW.
Yeah,
you take that game to 3 years ago, it's a different sport, Nelly, isn't it? Like to how the NRLW started, and that's why it's so good to see how the NRL are sort of, they didn't rush into the every club gets a NRLW side like the AFL did, because the standard of that AFLW is pathetic.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
So it's a good effort the way that NRL's gone after it, because that opening game was a bloody good game of rugby league.
Yeah.
No matter what side, it was better than the Broncos Bulldogs game for me anyway.
What about you, Langers? Have you got any thoughts on it, mate?
No, not after what I used to have just sort of discussed. I don't really have anything else to add. Like Roosters, they seem like a pretty good team over the last sort of few years. They've always sort of been sort of up the top of the ladder. And yeah, just like listening to those stats, like obviously I didn't get a chance to watch either of the games, but just listening to those stats, yeah, it definitely sort of seems like the Broncos are going to need to definitely pull a finger out and just, stop those errors and whatnot. Otherwise, the Roosters are just going to pump them. So, no, it's going to be interesting. But like what Ringer said, I think it is a good thing that not every team has an NRLW team, because they'll just have to be filling it with, the locals down the pub sort of thing, just to make the numbers sort of thing. Exactly. So, I think it's good. Obviously they're still growing the game, so there's obviously going to be teething dramas and all that sort of stuff. But no, all positive signs so far. So hopefully they can continue that for the rest of the season.
I don't know
No, you go. Rick. What it's like at the moment. The way the girls are playing is just because the technical side of the game hasn't sort of because they've only been been able to be half semi-professional for the last 2 years.
Yep.
Is that you're getting games that look like late 90s men's games,
Yep.
where it's like physical. It's all about not making mistakes. It's about getting through the middle. It's about compressing defense and then spreading it, and then like flicking it back the other way. It's almost like 9s or 7s, but that late 90s sort of men's comp where it was the skill and slickness that we got now is just not there yet. But I love it. It's such good footy to watch.
That's my my old boy made the same comment actually.
Yeah,
He said he watched the Thursday one. He goes, "Oh, it just reminds me of the good old days of NRL sort of thing."
Yeah,
where the girls are just out there to play footy, that sort of thing. Whereas the boys have got to that point now where the athleticism and the penalties and whatnot play a massive role in it. Whereas they're out there to just truck nut essentially and spread the ball out. So. I don't know if we talked about it on a previous episode, but I did talk to somebody previously about how it's interesting. When will the Penrith Panthers get an NRLW team? And I was I wonder if they're trying to do it so that, like their men's team, they've got this strong foundation as it comes through.
They'll come in and win every comp.
That's it. Yeah,
and then
dynasty.
I seen today, and I screenshotted it so that I can talk about it. I believe Panthers enter the Harvey Norman New South Wales Rugby League competition in 2025 with the women. So they're doing grassroots competition from 25 in preparation for when their NRLW team comes in. So I really hope the men's team have folded into an absolute clusterfuck of a spoon or some shit by the time because if they're winning both comps, oh my God.
Both comps in all grades, that'll be hard. But it is good though that they're, because even the ones that'll probably miss out on Penrith if they are doing a grassroots build from bottom up, that means that there's players for other clubs to go at. You know what I mean? So that you're not just like Tim said, you're not like Langer said, you're not just going down the pub and getting some, they want to have a crack, but they're not going to be professionals, and you don't want to diminish what product that you've got. So
exactly.
All right, we'll get into the extracurricular activities, starting off with the tipping. Congratulations to Langers and Ringer for having a tie this week. So we all got the Warriors and Storm. We all flumped on the Broncos. Ringer pounced ahead there with the Cowboys coming through for him over the Sharkies. And then we all went Roosters, Panthers. Everyone missed. No, we didn't. Not everyone missed. So Dolphins went down to the Titans and Gronk got the Titans. And then Langers and Gronk hit the Raiders there. So over the Rabbits. A little bit of devastating news there for the Rabbitohs as well, with Johnson looking like season over with an Achilles. Did you hear something about Cody Walker? Is he out? Has anyone looked at the team sheet for them?
No,
I haven't looked, mate. No, but
might have been just a nasty Supercoach rumor. So at the moment, the table we've still got Langers on top, wins 3. Average tip of 5, tied with Ringer with the exact same results there, and then Gronk and myself leading up the rear with an average tip of 4.2. 0 wins to our names though, so we'll try and move on with that one. Gronk sent his tips in. Lo and behold, he's backed the Cowboys. And what a week to back the Cowboys coming up against the Tigers. Bloody hell, that's like picking 3. That's
really
like
going out on a limb, isn't he?
That's like picking a winger for any time try scorer. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Shots fired there.
You watch the Tigers. Hopefully, they absolutely get fucking rolled.
Oh, that'd be
awesome. Anyway, so he's gone Cowboys, Eels, Roosters, Broncos, Storm, Sharks, Panthers, and Bulldogs.
Eels over New Zealand.
Yes. Yeah. So I did see that. I was like, what is this boy on? And then I read the rest of his tips, and that's apparently his upset for the round. Apparently.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm following suit, kind of. I've got Cowboys. I've got Warriors. Roosters, Broncos, Storm, Sharks, Panthers, and I do have the Bulldogs in a close one over the Raiders. So I'll throw to you, Langers. What's your tips, mate?
Mine are the exact same as yours, my boy.
The exact same.
Yeah,
That's a first for us.
Yep, Cowboys, New Zealand, Roosters, Broncos, Storm, Sharks, Panthers, Bulldogs.
All right, very good. We'll get rid of all these here then. What about you, Ringer? How are you going?
Britto, it's really crossing my mind if we're all going to go the same. Am I the arsehole that tips against the Broncos this week to try and pull that? But
Get him off the podcast.
Yeah. Get him off the food.
But I shan't be doing that.
Get him walking.
Yeah.
The one I do have different to you. Okay, I've got the Cows, Warriors. I'm going to go the Dolphins. There you go. There's my upset. And then, as you were.
Yep. Okay.
Bronx, Storm, Sharks, Pennies, Dogs. I think the Dogs do an absolute job on the Raiders. I think the Raiders were lucky to get very lackluster Souths on. Rabbits on Sunday. So it'll be, mate. But that can be my upset to try and buck the trend.
Yeah.
Because there's not many other games there that look like they could be contestable, to be honest, except for the Titans one. But we will not speak of this.
Yeah, no. Put that out and park it to the side. But no, you're right. There could be some big hidings this weekend coming up. So we'll see how that pans out. Over to the women's. Langers, again, with the win. Thankfully, he's math checking me today. Apologies for those that seen the social media posts and the clusterfuck that was. But it's all fixed now. So Langers has a win there. He scored 4 out of 5. I've put myself in second because why not? On 3 out of 5.
You do the graphics, man. You do it.
Ringer is in third, same 3 out of 5, and then the Gronk down there where he belongs on 2 out of 5. So we move on to this week, and I guess the Gronk just didn't have enough passion and patriotism to back 2 of his teams. Because he's gone the Knights over the Raiders, he's gone Titans over the Tigers, Sharkies over the Eels, Roosters over the Broncos, and then he's gone the Dragons over his Cowboys. So, ye of little faith. So, anyway.
Him with all the superstitions.
Yeah, that's it. And I've gone Knights, Titans, Eels, Broncos, and I too have gone the Dragons. I'll throw to you, Ringer. You can give us yours.
Yeah, mate, same as you. Knights, Titans. I've actually gone the Eels. Sharks are heavy favourites, which, anyway. Either, were we that bad? We could have been, but yeah. So Eels, Bronx, and then Cows, mate. Cows at home.
Are you going Cows, are you?
Yeah.
Ooh, nice. All right. What about you, Langers?
I've gone Knights, Titans. I've gone the Sharks purely just because they're the favourite. No other reason. Look, I'm not going to go against the Broncos. Fuck the Roosters. We'll go Broncos, and I've gone the Cowboys as well.
Yeah, right. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I was 50-50 on the Sharks and Eels too, but I just thought maybe the Eels have been the big improvers in the off-season. And, we were terrible, but maybe they were also really good and forced that out of us. So,
yeah.
Get into that. We move on to the betting. Had a couple of one-leg fails this week. So, game 1, which was mine, we had the New Zealand Warriors 13+, and they won by 12. But DWZ and Edward Cossey actually do cross for me. Game 2 was Ringers. That was your massive bet, mate. And
yeah, it went nowhere.
do you want to walk us through that one, or you?
Well, I was sick of getting beaten by one leg, so it's okay. I've calmed right down again this week. In a game where they scored a shit ton of points, they didn't really help me out with any of my try scorers.
They scored a shitload of points, and the line of -23.5 still didn't get up.
Yeah, exactly. That was ambitious.
And then I was similar with the Broncos there in Game 3. Langers, you had a one-leg foul there with Kyle Felt crossing, but Ronaldo Mulatalo only crossed for one, mate. Bloody hell, you had it in the bag.
Yep, so did I.
And then the Gronk, he got away with a one-leg foul too in the absolute classic match of a game for the Roosters and the Manly. So we got Roosters 1-12, Dom Young, Tommy Talau, and he just missed out on that Angus Crichton.
His 1-12 looked absolutely nowhere near going to be true for a long time, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, he's coming back here, the boy.
Yeah.
You knew what was happening.
That was a classic game. I thoroughly enjoyed watching that one.
Points scored, mate.
Yeah, it was good. And then Gronk fired off again with the Dragons and the Panthers. He got Panthers 13 plus, but poor old Laurie didn't cross for him. And Brian Toto just doesn't see any ball.
No.
Now that clear his back, it's all going down the other edge or straight through the guts by the looks of it. So,
Reagan scores him himself.
Yeah, that was probably a big factor in it, wasn't it? Ringer, you had the Dolphins and Titans. That was a bit of a weird game, really.
Another bad shit.
Yeah, considering the points that were scored, the people who were scoring them was a bit off. You would have thought that in such a high scoring affair, you would have had a Jaden Campbell or an Azarko or a Hammer, but
yeah,
only got the ever reliable AKP coming in, and then
he scored 3.
Yeah,
shit.
And then Langers with the Raiders and the Rabbits. You got your little bet with the Canberra Raiders lead at 60 minutes. That gave you a big tick. Savage didn't cross. Huddy Young didn't cross, but Johnson did cross before snapping his Achilles. So that could have been.
Huddy Young was close.
Savage crossed. Johnson didn't.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Savage caught the bomb.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, he got the
void. Johnson didn't. Yeah, he blew his leg off. That should be a void. That should not be a foul. It should be a void.
Yeah.
Call the union.
We'll give you that.
Yeah.
And for those of you who did follow the road to $1 million, we were looking at a healthy $940,000 bet off 1 cent, but we fucked it, so we move on.
1 cent.
Yeah.
Carry on. That will happen when that does come up. Will be
intense.
Mate. First place, Langers sitting up there nice and pretty. Bet percent 11, leg percent 44, under over negative 21.25. Gronk in second, leg percent 37, over under 35. Ringer in third with a bet percent of 43, over under $45, and then myself down in the bottom there in the cellar dweller with a 36% leg percent and a under 50.
Yeah.
So as a whole, we've had one win. We're coming in at 3% for our bets, and we're coming in at 15% for our one-leg fouls, and we've missed out on $700.
Fuck.
Yeah.
We'll get it.
Start bad, finish.
That's all right. Yeah, we'll come back.
That's it. If you're not winning them early, you're going to win them late, surely.
We got to get a couple of those. We got to get a couple of those one-leg misses.
Yeah, that's
Start
it.
moving in our direction.
Yep.
That's it. Okay, well, we move on to this week. As we mentioned, we're only doing bets on the men's this season because we'll be throwing even more money down the drain trying to bet on the women's at the moment while we learn it. So, Gronk has game 1 with the Tigers up against his Cowboys. He's come in with Fainu as an anytime, Scotty Drinkwater anytime. He's actually gone the West Tigers with the plus 10.5 line. So that's going to get him a healthy $15.25 with those odds. Not bad at all. Ringer, you have the New Zealand Warriors versus the Parramatta Eels.
So
What have you got?
Gronk scared me a bit with his Parramatta Eels upset. Like, what's that little prick hiding from us, So I was going to go Warriors 13 plus, but as our legs state, we need some wins. So I'm just going Warriors head to head. Dallin anytime. into an AFB, crashing over, straight through the guts, anytime. Simple, plain, should be. What's that paying on yours? About $7?
$4.75, mate.
Love
Take it.
Take it.
Take it. And there, yeah.
All right, sweet. I'm going to follow up with the Dolphins versus the Sydney Roosters. I've got Sydney Roosters 13 plus, and I've got Joseph Manu for 2 plus. So
Okay.
as far as I'm concerned, that's going to give me $10. Joey Manu's probably going to cross being healthy, coming back. He's going to want to rip and tear. Surely the Roosters are going to come home with a wet sail going into the finals, 13 plus over the Dollies there that are starting to show their fatigue from all their injuries that they've had. So all I really do for $10, mate, is just Joseph Manu to cross. That's it.
Yeah, twice. Come on, boy.
Oh, well, he's already crossed once, so he just needs to cross one more time, and I'm done. So safest bet of the week, I'm going to put that one down to. Gronk
Do it.
is having a turn at the Gold Coast via the Broncos. He's gone big on our boys, and I don't know if that's to put the fucking hoodwink on us. But he's gone Broncos 13 plus. He's gone Reece Walsh, Dean Mariner, and AKP anytime try scorers for $13.
Okay.
So,
fuck, I hope that one pays out. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'll go with him there.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That's a high five.
All right, Langers, Melbourne Storm versus the Dragons. What have you got there, mate?
I've got Warbrick anytime. I've got Lomax anytime. A couple of safeties. And then just for a little bit of value, I've thrown in the old Cam Munster as an anytime as well.
Oh, I love that.
Yep. He's paying good coin too. So I thought, that's a cheeky little one. So,
Coming back. Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, nice. That'll get you $11.
Cool.
Right. Just
put the house on it. Bet responsibly.
Well, Munster must be paying a lot because the other two would be $1.
He's on he's $2.70 for Munster.
$2.70. There you go. Yeah. There you go. Just come back from injury. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Money's going to be running off. Like he'll be you can see him like Husey making a big break and Munster supporting on the inside there. I can see that.
I think Munster will be trying to play himself back into.
Of course he will. He'll be trying to prove Bellamy wrong from calling him fat a couple of weeks ago.
All right. Game 6, we've got Cronulla Sharks, South Sydney Rabbitohs, and that's another one for you, Ringer.
So, Britto and Langers, after my little bitch bet in the first round, hang on to your hat.
Here we go.
Cronulla 13 plus.
Oh.
Sione Katoa, anytime. Jacob Gagai, anytime. Jacob's got a score. He didn't score last weekend. We're going into Britton Nakora.
Damn.
Into
Daniel
Atkinson.
Damn.
Okay.
I like the look of him. I watched them live, the Cowboys Sharks, and I really like the way that Atkinson moved. I reckon if they can get him some ball, and if the Souths have decided to throw in the towel for the year, and it'll be a different edge out there again with Johnson gone. But, I can see young Daniel skipping around. He looked pretty horny in the flesh actually. So so we really tied our $4 one into an absolute piss cutter.
Yeah, what's that one playing?
Yeah, it's $57.
Yes.
So if we miss out on one leg to the road to the million, that's going to be the fucking thing that.
It'll be me. Yeah. No, and it'll be my safest one in the other game probably.
Yeah.
That's how that shit works.
All right. Langers has got the worst game to try and get any value out of a multi in the Penrith Panthers up against the Newcastle Knights.
Yeah, fuck me dead.
What do you got, mate?
Yeah, I can't even back a Knight for an anytime try scorer because there's a real chance that they won't even fucking score. So, I've gone to anytime try scorer. I've got Panthers leading after 30 minutes, just as a bit of a random one. And I've gone a negative 18.5 line on the Panthers as well, just because of fucking, I don't know.
Let's try and throw some shit at the board.
Yeah, that's paying what, like $1.04?
$3.10.
Woo! That'll
Yeah,
do.
Load up.
Yeah, load up. Yeah.
Para leading after 30 minutes. Jesus. That should be $1.01.
Oh,
Yeah.
also
You'd think so.
I forgot to mention on double stake in the Roosters game as well.
Okay.
So gonna throw $10 on it. And
Double
then,
state ring and shark game too.
yeah, you won't.
Fuck it.
You won't.
Well, we'd be in profit from it the whole fucking show.
Yeah. And I would not come in next week wearing a crown. And ring.
Yeah, catch me now.
Yeah.
And I finish off game 8, Canterbury Bulldogs up against the Canberra Raiders. I've actually got a little calculator working in the background where I'm trying to, put one over the betting houses, and that's spitting out at the moment. Canterbury Bulldogs head-to-head, Canberra Raiders with the plus 8.5 line and under 47.5 points.
That sounds.
I reckon.
That's gonna pay me $6.75.
Go with it. I'm pretty happy with that.
I'm hoping that Ricky's Raiders just bring the Bulldogs down into that grind, and then I'm also relying on the fact that the Bulldogs know how to win to grind a game. So yeah.
Well, they've been doing that to everyone else except us, where they pumped. So
Yeah. And how are we looking at here? Jack's going to absolutely ruin our road to $1 million here. We're not going to.
Well, why don't you take that Atkinson kid out of the road to $1 million one, just to give
Nah. It's actually not too bad. It's like we'll have to drop a leg here and there. So just check the socials to see what we actually put on after this. But that's like, if you put 1 cent on that, you're getting 1.2 million. So it's actually, we've got a couple of safeties in there. We've got a couple of wild ones. It's actually leveled out, not too bad. So anyway, we'll fix that up and we'll get it out onto the socials for everyone to have a look. All right. We've got our mate, the Gronk. He's here and he's keen. Obviously, he would have enjoyed the shit out of what happened on the weekend. Let's have a look.
Hit me with the shot.
Let me know. Let me know if you can see it.
Yeah, we're there. Unfortunately, this is going to be painful.
Yeah, fuck.
You ready for a minute 46 of this shit?
Well. Haven't you gone and done yourselves a fucking mischief now? Saturday afternoon, broad daylight, full squad, 40,000 fucking screaming thoroughbreds. Everything to play for. And yous go out there and yous treat the hallowed turf of the Cauldron like fucking Johnny Depp's pillow and lay a great big amber turd on it. Fucking unbelievable. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Actually, I could believe it, but I just didn't think that it would happen like that. Unfucking believable. Okay, Renault's back now. Where was the old head or some voice saying, hey boys, let's stop compressing our defence so much so that they don't just run around us all half. Fucking, I don't know, man. I actually still think he's make the 8 only because of the run that other teams have, but very, very concerning and hilarious. Anyway, bye for now.
Gronk doesn't know how to pull a punch, does he?
No.
Fuck yeah. I mean, he's not wrong though, is he?
They did not say one thing wrong in that whole part.
No,
That's
exactly
not
right.
bad.
Like,
No.
yeah, had everything to play for. Had all the advantages in the world.
Yep.
Didn't turn
Yep.
up.
Anyway.
Yep.
Anyway, I can't wait until he starts a Cowboys podcast and we can just like send videos to him yelling at them.
They're gonna start losing though. That's the problem.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Let's not talk about
Yeah. No.
that. All right. Well, that's us for another week, Thoroughbreds. Hope you enjoyed the listen. Head over to our socials. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube. Give us a like, follow, or comment. Subscribe where you can. Make sure you join us into the social stuff, commenting on what you want. Give us a bit of banter. Give us a bit of chat.
Give us some feedback.
Yeah, give us some feedback. Give
Yeah,
us some ideas to throw shit at those United boys over on the other podcast. They seem to. I thought they might have
And the
learnt that.
Gronk too. Fuck.
Yeah,
Give
and
us
the
something.
Gronk. Yeah, fuck me, Jesus.
We're
Christ.
so lucky we got away with that bloody 88 Cup, or this would have been the most depressing podcast on the whole of NFL.
Not the greatest start, is it?
Yeah, silver lining.
All right. Well, bet responsibly. Be a contributor to society. Stay out of one another unless it's consensual, and we'll gallop off into the week. Catch us later.
Cheers, Thoroughbreds.